Buddy, happy Saturday, happy Christmas weekend, happy holidays, however you celebrate. Welcome to another live reaction, this time episode 148, a boogie woogie Christmas. I am Dustin Starr, and I cannot wait to talk all about it here on the live reaction. What a fantastic Christmas episode, and what a just absolute honor to have WWE Hall of Famer, classic Memphis wrestling legend, the true king before the king, handsome Jimmy Valiant on the program today. Absolutely unbelievable. And to be standing in the corner of All the Way Ray, a man of the people, man, I just could not have asked for a better Christmas episode from top to bottom. It was absolutely unbelievable and the fastest hour in pro wrestling. But let's talk all about it. Once again, I'm Dustin Starr. Merry Christmas, happy holiday, however you celebrate. I hope you're having a good one. Sam's here. He said, just dropping in to say much love, Dustin. I went to AEW last Wednesday and it was a blast. Yes, AEW is a ton of fun live. Old school Dave's here. He says, hair on point, buddy. Thank you so much. I actually had to move upstairs today because there's all sorts of cooking and craziness going on downstairs. You talk about Christmas chaos match. We've got a little Christmas chaos kitchen going on here at the Star household. Corey, how are you? He says, great show. Steve G says, hello, Dustin. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. Same to you. Jeffrey, I love that championship badge you have. And big shout out to Championship Wrestling from Jeremy, who joined our members only today. It's only $3.99. It's a really, really good Christmas gift, not only for yourself or another wrestling fan. So go ahead and check that out. You can get access to custom emojis like the handsome Jimmy Valiant emoji that we were using earlier today. There's also a top dollar emoji for the members only. And then, of course, you get those awesome championship badges. So, Jeffrey, big shout out to you, brother. Love seeing Jimmy and Cobra hanging out. Me too. When I picked Jimmy Valiant up from the airport and took him headed to the hotel, I made a couple of phone calls and we all went out to eat breakfast that morning. And so to see King Cobra and Jimmy Valiant hug and embrace and catch up after, gosh, man, it has to be over 20 years, maybe even longer since the last time those guys seen each other. And then to catch up at the Wrestle Center and be on camera and on screen together was just bucket list for me. So I'm very proud of that moment. What's up, Sherry? How are you? Patrick Moore. Hold on, I'm trying to get caught up. You guys are rolling today. Thank you for joining me here, everybody. This is awesome. Let's see. I'm not sure. It's not staying with me here. All right. Patrick says, hey, if you're familiar with Dallas, Texas wrestling, but have you watched Iron Claw yet? No, but several of the trainees went and saw it on Friday. So I'll get a full recap coming up. And there it is, Eddie Kane, man, with his custom championship badge, and then also his Boogie Woogie Man, or should I say Boogie Claws emoji con. So very, very cool. Bus Stop says, Merry Christmas Eve. It's the eve of Christmas Eve. So we are all gearing up here at the Star household. Rob says, great show till the possums had to ruin it. Once again, the posse decide to ruin Christmas, this time by attacking matchmaker King Cobra. That will sure enough get them fired, I would imagine. I'm zipped up inside a tight sleeping bag right now, says Bus Stop. Sounds good. Nice and warm and toasty. And there's Eddie Kane, Maine, my Christmas gift to some lucky kiddo. Well, we appreciate that. If you guys want to send a donation, just like our guy Eddie Kane, Maine here, he sent $5. What I do with those funds is I take those and we give those to in the form of tickets to kids or even adults that don't have the disposable income, that are diehard wrestling fans that want to come see us at the Wrestle Center. So, Eddie Kane, Maine, I really, really appreciate that. Big shout out to you. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy New Year. And then also thank you for joining the members only. Rob says, Jimmy and King Cobra, 100 years of experience. Yeah, no kidding. Sherry says that she's doing good. That's awesome. She says she hadn't forgot about coming there to catch a show and that she will do it one day. Well, let me know, Sherry. Memphis Wrestling TV. We are live January 7th with former WWE superstar Top Dollar. You guys were wondering about the money falling from the sky. Who's hotter than Top Dollar? Well, we're going to find out. And it seems like on Facebook, they had a lot of stuff to talk about Top Dollar. So it should be really interesting inside the Wrestle Center. It should be absolutely electric. Whether you like them or you don't like them, you know that Memphis Wrestling is going to deliver. Go ahead and get those tickets. It's a great Christmas gift. Very, very affordable. Tickets for general admission start at like $10. A lot of times we have a discount code, knocks $5 off. So you can really get in the Wrestle Center for $5. Oh yeah, get those tickets at Memphis Wrestling TV. Big John Dalton in the background looks unfamiliar. Where are you at? My back hurts, by the way. Well, it should after being hit with a candy cane kendo stick from Reverend Ash Taylor. And I don't even want to ask what you got in your collection plate because I saw Buddy Jones squatting over it, putting some coal inside of your collection plate. I'm actually upstairs in my bedroom. Downstairs, it's Christmas chaos in the kitchen. So I got kicked out of there. Anyway, Big John Dalton in the house. Here's Jeffrey. He says it wouldn't be Christmas without the posse showing up to ruin things. This is an annual tradition. How are we ever going to stop the posse from ruining Christmas? Steve says, Dustin, feed the posse to the bodega. Oh, man. My phone takes a bump. Feed the posse to the bodega. Oh man, that would be some kind of match right there. Rob says, I saw Tough Enough. I think some of the contestants looked lost. They needed to come through the Wrestle Center. Well, man, the doors are open. I think we've got 3 or 4 new trainees that have started here recently. We're very excited about the future of not only Memphis wrestling, but the future of the Wrestle Center. Willie Bowen says Ray Collins and Big Swole versus the Punk Posse. Why not? Both of those guys are on tremendous streaks, or at least Big Swole was. I know he's not going to be too happy about losing to Austin Mulitalo last week. Big John Dalton says he's still got the collection plate. Did you get any money in that collection plate, Big John? Rob says, Merry Christmas to everybody. Sherry says, what's your email? It's championshipwrestlingmemphis@gmail.com. Once again, championshipwrestlingmemphis@gmail.com. Also, you can head over to memphiswrestling.tv and you can send us a message from there as well. Rob says, Jimmy Valiant put Jimmy Blaylock to sleep. Jimmy Blaylock has been doing that to us for years. That is so funny, man. What about the Boogie Woogie Man? Handsome Jimmy Valiant, 81 years young, headed out to Memphis, Tennessee to put the stamp of approval on the Memphis Wrestling WrestleCenter. And if you want to hear that interview in full, there was a sit-down interview and you saw a highlight of it with JD Rieger. You can head over to memphiswrestlingplus.com. If you subscribe there, you can watch that interview in its entirety. Also, there's a very fun interview with Big Dan. Big Dan tells a story about meeting handsome Jimmy Valiant years and years ago, and it had a long-lasting effect on him, and he'll never forget it. So that's all at memphiswrestlingplus.com. Handsome Jimmy Valiant coming out to Memphis, Tennessee to put the stamp of approval on the Wrestle Center, on Memphis Wrestling, on what we're doing. He said the best talent in the entire world is right here in Memphis, and the best fans in the world are right here in Memphis, and he's loving every minute of it. And you could see it when he came through the curtain, just how enthusiastic and charismatic the man still is and just has a passion for it, only to be interrupted by Hollywood Jimmy Blaylock. And then, of course, all the way Ray coming out and helping out handsome Jimbo from Mempo. That was very, very cool. Jimmy Valiant put Jimmy Blaylock to sleep, put him in a sleeper hold on the floor. Thank goodness. It's, what are we, 148 episodes in, and somebody finally shut Jimmy Blaylock's big mouth up, even if it was only for just a second. Patrick Moore says, I'm dreaming, but it'll be cool to get a UWN representation in Dallas, Texas. That has nothing to do with me, Patrick. You're barking up the wrong tree. I'm the Memphis guy. I'm not the Dallas, Texas guy. Rob says, hope you heal soon, Big John Dalton. Oh my gosh, what a kendo stick shot from Reverend Ash Taylor, right across the back of Big John Dalton. And I guess that's what you get for stealing the collection plate, which he says he still has possession of. So stay tuned on Memphis Wrestling. All right, Destiny says I'm busy to join in, but just wanted to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to y'all. Thankful for Memphis Wrestling. Thank you, Dustin. Oh my gosh. And then she sends a $19.99, a $20 donation here on Christmas weekend. Love to see Memphis fans fill the Wrestle Center. Merry Christmas. That is definitely going to be able to purchase some tickets for the fans here in Memphis. Destiny, thank you so much. I cannot wait until you guys make a trip to come down here. Now, I know I've made trips down there to see you guys, and I plan to do that again, but hopefully you guys can come out to Memphis at some point. But thank you so much, not only for having your championship badge next to your name, but then also the 1999. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can put a big old heart on there. And then also Eddie Kane, man, in the house. Yes, some lucky kiddo is going to get some tickets with that. All right, let me get caught back up here. Thank you for just dropping in with us, Destiny. I really appreciate it. Please send all the love from Memphis to your family out in California. Robert says, Dustin, who do you pick tonight, Danielson or Claudio? Man, I've got to say Danielson. That's a tough one. I will say Danielson. Bobby Reyes says that he missed it. You got to go back and check it out if you missed it. Rob says Christmas chaos. Describe the scrum we have with the drumsticks at Christmas lunch. Big Nasty Phil picking up a huge victory here on Christmas weekend on a boogie woogie Christmas. And if you remember, Hardcore Holidays last year on Memphis Wrestling, that pitted Tommy Dreamer one on one in a hardcore rules match against main event Bradley. So little bit of retribution there for main event Bradley and Big Nasty Phil. Willie saying Merry Christmas to Destiny. Yeah, you guys showed Destiny some love. Eddie Kane, man, as well. Andrea's here. She says, hey, Dustin, love you. You're awesome. Merry Christmas. Love you back. Thank you for joining me here. Let's talk some Memphis wrestling. Jamie's in the house. Jamie, the king. He says, Merry Christmas, everybody. Patrick Bell's here. He said, I enjoyed Memphis wrestling again. It never fails to amaze me. I grew up on Jimmy Valiant. I know, right? I mean, I feel like all the stars are just aligning just perfectly. And yes, pun intended, the stars lining up just perfectly to have Jerry Jarrett here on Memphis Wrestling, to have Dave Brown make a stop in Memphis Wrestling, and then now handsome Jimmy Valiant, and of course our matchmaker King Cobra. He was spiked today by the posse, and we will have an update on King Cobra very, very soon. I'm not sure if they got him in the eye, in the forehead, where exactly they got King Cobra at, but we've seen it before. The posse have taken folks' eyes out with those spikes, and I think that we were able to rush King Cobra some medical attention. Big shout out to the referees and all the security for getting King Cobra the hell out of that ring, or else it could have been a whole lot worse. One of the security guards was on the receiving end of a huge power bomb from Simon, who stands at 6'3", 6'4", something like that, over 300 pounds, just driving the security guard into the mat. So shout out to Seven. I hope he's doing okay as well. Rob says, I like Jimmy's Mini Me fan of the week. That was so funny, man. Buddy Jones, Joshua, Nikki, and all those that sit along the wall. They were celebrating their 1-year anniversary at Memphis Wrestling. And what better way to do it than one of their favorites of all time, handsome Jimmy Valiant and Cooper. Cooper actually celebrated his birthday at the Wrestle Center. It was one of the most fun parties that we've ever had. So Cooper showed up dressed up as Boogie Woogie, had Big Mama written on his knuckles, greeted him at the meet and greet, and then also got a little bit of love after the match and everything. So big shout out to Cooper. He was just killing it. All right, Double A Ron, glad you didn't break your phone. Yeah, I had a little mishap here. Andrea says, hi, Dustin. Love seeing Jimmy Valiant put Jimmy Blaylock to sleep and shut him up. How about you? I think that's going to be a highlight that we're going to play over and over and over again in the coming years. Lurvy says, Merry Christmas, Dustin. Right back to you, Lurvy. Same to all the fans in the chat, and get ready to enjoy the holidays. King Cobra put a lump of coal in the posse stocking, as well as a fine and suspension. Well, if I know King Cobra as well as I think I do, and I do, there's going to be big trouble for the posse. Patrick says, is there championship wrestling tomorrow? Yes, as far as I know, there is a championship wrestling tomorrow, but it'll be another repurposed television program. Sherry says, repeat your email address again. It's championshipwrestlingmemphis@gmail.com. Big John Dalton says, yo, James Storm and Lance Archer on the same card. Top dollar coming to Memphis. Then we are in Mississippi. Oh, yeah, Dustin Starr, we're hitting the road. You're exactly right, Big John Dalton. Coming up, actually, first, next Saturday, December 30th, you can watch AEW World's End with us at Dave & Buster's in Memphis, absolutely free. There are no hidden costs, no catch or anything like that. You just show up at Dave & Buster's, head to the huge big screen televisions. There's about 20 of them. And 2 big projector screens, and you watch it with us absolutely free. Also, if you're a fan of football, of course, they have football on as well. But then on January 7th, Top Dollar, formerly of WWE, will be in Memphis Wrestling live at the Wrestle Center. Get your tickets at memphiswrestling.tv. And I will tell you, he's not coming alone. Somebody else will be there at the VIP experience. Somebody else will be there in action. And we plan to announce that very, very soon for Christmas. maybe we'll give you a little Christmas discount with it as well. But we have another superstar that we've added to the January 7th. It is going to be off the hook. And then we've got in February coming up, we've got Strayhorn, Mississippi for the Strayhorn band once again. So yeah, Big John Dalton's right. He had a big Christmas day as well. Loved the promo at the desk. Dude's coming along just fine, but he does have a big problem in the righteous path. Dave Walker says Hollywood Jimmy sold that sleeper for sure. Well, I think he was passed out. Lurvy says Jimmy V put the Goodnight Irene on Jimmy Blaylock. That's what he calls that sleeper hold. Keith says I still think what happened at the end of Vicious and Ray's match was hilarious. I think one of the security guards lost his pants there and revealed a diaper. I think that really tickled my Maria as well. Willie says Reverend Ashhole Taylor deserves horse manure for a Christmas gift. I totally agree with that. Patrick says, whatever happened to Bashley Bones? She's from my hometown. Nothing happened to Bashley Bones. I think you'll see her on the program coming up next week on Memphis Wrestling. She's pretty much a regular for us right now. Andrea, I didn't like seeing the posse spike King Cobra and going after you, Dustin. Are you okay? Will the posse pay for what they did? Absolutely, the posse will pay for what they did. I don't want any part of the posse. You guys are acting like I'm going to step up and fight somebody. Why the heck would I want to fight two dudes that have spikes? No way, but I'm glad that King Cobra was able to get out of there. So hopefully Cobra is okay. Jeffrey says Ray Collins is collecting some impressive reference for his wrestling resume. Who you telling, man? Gosh, JTG, the Pope, handsome Jimmy Valiant. I mean, the list goes on and on, literally, for Ray Collins. The dude is just picking up victory after victory. Patrick says, question, why is the posse so, I think that's intimidating. They're just not nice guys, man. That's all I can say about it. Rob says, can't wait till the grind city rumble. Okay, so here's how it's going to shake out. Next week on Memphis Wrestling, I'm going to give you my top 10 favorite moments of 2023, and it's going to be off the hook. It's going to be the who's who of Memphis Wrestling next week on episode 149. Then the following week, you heard King Cobra before he was spiked in the face by the posse. That episode 150, another huge milestone for Memphis Wrestling. He has signed, sealed, and it will be delivered. Episode 150 in 2 weeks is going to be the Memphis Heritage Championship on the line, the gun show, defending against the master of Fat Jitsu, K. Toomer, and the former champion, the genetic nightmare, Mike Anthony. That triple threat match will headline Milestone 150 in 2 weeks. And then after that, it's every man and woman for themselves. It's the Grind City Rumble. Who will be the last person standing? And head on to our blockbuster anniversary Super Bout 3. It's coming up. The next 3 weeks on Memphis Wrestling are absolutely off the hook. Willie says someone should tell Van Vicious real men don't wear pink wrestling trunks. Well, tell Bret Hart that too. Andrew says, hi, Dust. I'm super excited about Cowboy James Storm. How about you? I cannot wait to have a beer with the bearded outlaw James Storm. So that's another one. Thursday, January 25th. You do have to be 18 years or older to attend. It's going down at Lafayette's Music Room in Memphis, Tennessee. It's one of the finest bars, entertainment, music facilities in all of Memphis. And we're going to be there live with Cowboy James Storm. Also, big announcements coming up for January 25th's event as well. Get those tickets right now. Go to memphiswrestling.tv, click the banner, and then it'll take you right to the tickets. So go get that. Cowboy James Storm returning to Memphis Wrestling, and I can't wait. And he has been here before. So if you head over, actually right here on YouTube, when we're done, just type in James Storm Memphis Wrestling and you'll see it. It was a big Saturday night special on Memphis Wrestling at the Wrestle Center. I believe Cowboy James Storm went one-on-one with Mikey. And speaking of Mikey, did we see Mikey hitting up King Cobra for a little bit of an assistant job, perhaps? He dressed up in a suit and tie? Said he had to grow up a little bit. He's dressing a little nicer, combing his hair a little nicer. I can't wait to see what's in store for Mikey coming up. Patrick says, if I could afford the flight and motel, I would go to Memphis. Well, maybe one day, man. Patrick, we would love to have you here. Rob says the Twins of Salem gave the Top Guns a nightmare before Christmas. No kidding. And what the heck was that creepy video? And what's going on with Jackson Crowley and Abel Booker? I can't wait to see what happens with them next on Memphis Wrestling. Patrick Bell says, I actually met Jimmy Valiant. Man, me and Jimmy Valiant go way back. Rob says Landfill wins one. What's that 1 win to 100 losses? Well, I mean, it was a big one, Christmas Chaos, so, at least he's on the, got a win in the column. Patrick says, "Do you still wrestle, Dustin, at all?" "No, I train. I do not wrestle." Rob says, "Like seeing Big Dan, though not under the circumstances. Tell Big Dan we miss him in the live chat." Yeah, Big Dan is out at Bass Pro, the Big Pyramid, man. He's got a big gig out there, so I think that's what he's doing on Saturdays now. But I'll give him the big shout out. I think he goes back and watches and looks at the chat too. So shout out to Big Dan. He put himself in harm's way a little bit earlier today with the posse. Rob says, "I was worried about Maria wearing antlers during hunting season." Oh gosh. Trey says, "I have my own YouTube channel." Well, congratulations, Trey. Sherry says, "Okay, you got it. All right." Rob says, "I'd like to say it. How can 2024 top 2023?" But also, think about every episode you always do looking forward to the new year. Rob, I really appreciate that, man, especially coming from you because you've been here, gosh, episode after episode after episode. And so we really do appreciate that. Um, how are we going to top it? It kind of reminds me of what Zack Ryder said. Do we have this elaborate plan in place? No, not really, but we do have our finger on the pulse of what's going on. And just judging by the reaction that we've got with Top Dollar and whoever else is coming with him, we're going to kick off the new year just just fine. Trust me. Double A says more than one member of Hit Row, maybe. No, probably, maybe not. I mean, you guys got to see that most of these guys are locked into contracts where they're exclusive. So, and if you're referring to Swerve Strickland, it would probably take a Brinks truck worth of money to get Swerve Strickland out here at this point, especially as hot as he is. Just the other day on screen with the AEW World Champion MJF. But if the opportunity did arise, oh yeah, we did have Prince Nana. Patrick says, "I'm excited to be coming Memphis Wrestling. I can't wait." Keith says, "Give the posse punishment." Oh, yeah. Patrick says, "Wait, how y'all get Top Dollar? That surprised me." Well, Top Dollar's no compete clause is officially out, so we were able to make the announcement on December 21st. So I do know that he made an appearance at GCW, but I believe his first match back will be with Memphis Wrestling. We've been holding on to that for a couple of months, guys. Lurvy said, "I've got to shower off and have breakfast. Merry Christmas, everyone." I'll check out next week's episode. As Tiny Tim in A Christmas Carol said, "God bless us, everyone." All right. Thank you, Lurvy. I really appreciate you for stopping in. I'll be here for a couple of more minutes. If you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comments. If you're watching this live reaction and it's not live anymore, still put your questions in the comments, and we always do the best job of going back and checking those out and answering those. Rob says, "Where do you vote on the matches for next week?" I don't know that there's a voting on matches, but there was a question about the year-end awards. So here in the next day or so, you'll be able to vote in our year-end awards. The nominations are taking place right now, and then you guys will be able to vote. And then on New Year's Day, we'll make the big announcement on who the winners are. And those winners are going to be judged by you. So it'll be a voting process. You'll have several days to do it, and then we'll start making the announcements on January 1st to kick off 2024. Willie says Nix should gotten a beatdown from DDT or Cassandra Golden. Absolutely. DDT definitely owes Nix a beatdown, and I think Cassandra Golden does as well. Also, we need to figure out who the number one contender is for the Memphis Wrestling Women's Championship, so stay tuned on that as well. Double A says K Toomer and Top Dollar would be quite the team. You think so? I agree. Keith says punishments and fines should be delivered to the posse for what they did. I don't disagree with that. Eddie Kane Main says Super Bout 3. I can't wait. Me either. Robert says Thunder Rosa was in the 2022 Grind City Rumble. Any chances of her returning to Memphis? I actually texted with her this week. Keith says beer money. Oh, yeah. Steve G wishing everybody a Merry Christmas. Memphis Wrestling keeps getting better, says Jamie. Thank you, Jamie. I really appreciate it. James Storm, Memphis Wrestling. Oh, yeah. Eddie Kane Main's ready for it. Mikey looks like a young Liam Neeson. Huh. I can kind of see that. Keith loves Mikey's new look. Chris Shelby, I really enjoyed today's show and looking forward to the grind and the triple threat match. Hope everyone has a Merry Christmas. That's right, Chris. On episode 150, that's our milestone. Big triple threat match. Gun Show defends against Mike Anthony and K Toomer. Then the following week is the Grind City Rumble. And I have a feeling that it's going to be the biggest one yet. So stay tuned for that. Merry Christmas, Chris. Patrick says, I'd like to see you wrestle Dustin. That is not going to happen. Patrick says, seems like Memphis Wrestling is cooking up. I agree. Rob says, I heard a lot of released, wretched, witless entertainment is over. Maybe we see more of them here. Hopefully. Rico says, is King Cobra okay? I believe he's okay, but I don't know how bad the injury is just yet. I'm glad they were able to get him out of there fast. Rico, the dang posse ruined Christmas again. I don't know. Swerve does work. Defy. Maybe you got a shot, Dustin. I definitely have a shot. What are you talking about? But it doesn't mean I wouldn't need a Brinks truck to back up to the Wrestle Center to pay him. Rob says, I'll vote 6 times for the year-end award. I live in Louisiana, and that's allowed. Rob says Thunder Rosa back in action. Yeah, big congratulations. Thunder Rosa back in action tonight on Collision. I do think it's a little weird that she's teaming with Abaddon because the last time we saw Thunder Rosa, she was the AEW Women's World Champion. So why not just pick up where you left off there? Did Thunder Rosa get a little heat or something? Rico says, great news, Dustin. Continental Championship Wrestling in Jacksonville, Florida has an open tryout on January 19th. Okay, sounds good. Rico, can't wait for Grind City Rumble. Me either. It's one of my favorite days of the year. It's every man and woman for themselves. And this year is going to be unlike no other. It's going to be like no other. Unlike no other? You know what I'm saying. It's going to be off the hook. Rob says, I worry about Gun Show. He can lose the belt without losing the match. Well, you got to think about this too. Both of those men, Kay Toomer and Mike Anthony, both seem to have a gripe at the number one contendership. They both seem to think that they should be the Memphis Heritage Champion. They both seem to think that they should have beaten the Gun Show previously, but both of them didn't do it. The Gun Show was supreme on those. So you never know what's going to happen, especially with that maniac, Mike Anthony. Kay Toomer is absolutely on fire. The Gun Show is approaching a full calendar year of being the Memphis Heritage Champion. If you remember, episode milestone 100 is when the Gun Show recaptured the title from Mike Anthony. That was episode 100. You can go back and check it out on this YouTube channel. But episode 150, approaching 1 year. And if you're keeping tabs here, guys, episode 150, the milestone, you'll have the current Memphis Heritage Champion against a former Memphis Heritage Champion against the winner of the 2023 Grind City Rumble, Kay Toomer. It doesn't get any bigger than that. Who's going to win? And you're right, Rob. Gun Show doesn't even have to get pinned to lose the title. Rico says, I missed the Atlanta Championship Wrestling. They had great episodes. Yeah, they did for about a month. Looks like McLick. I'm liking that championship banner next to that championship badge next to your name there. When will Lance have his first match? I don't know. Lance is currently training hard. Of course, it looks like that he's finally, gotten back with his dad and back with his family. Tim said that he's back training, but I'm more interested. When's Too Cool 2 going to make their return and put Draco and Gio in their place? There's still unfinished business there. A lot of unfinished business heading into the Grind City Rumble. Rob says today's episode was a present all by itself. I appreciate that. Steve said the broadcast team was great. We appreciate that too, man. We're just having fun. Rico says, wishing you and Miss Maria a merry, happy Christmas. I appreciate it. Rob says, I hope you all got your shopping done. Yes. Steve G, Dustin, hopefully Mike Anthony wins. You're probably the only one that hopes so. When is Gio gonna go blonde? I don't know. I mean, Gio doesn't have a whole lot of hair on top. Any kind of buzz cut up top. I guess Draco's got really short hair up top as well. Stay tuned. There's no telling what those guys are going to do next. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. How did it feel to have handsome Jimmy Valiant in Memphis Wrestling and getting kissed by him? I was spitting whiskers out for the rest of the show. My Maria loved it, said that I get more action from handsome Jimmy than I get from her, and you guys have no idea how true that is. When handsome Jimmy Valiant is around, you got to know that you need to have eyes in the back of your head because he's going to plant a big kiss on you. And then also he planted a big kiss on Eugene. So what about that? Former WWE superstar Eugene in Memphis Wrestling today. And then I look forward to seeing him possibly at the Grind City Rumble. I know somebody said it in the live chat. Do you know why Atlanta didn't work out? Ran out of money? Didn't sell enough tickets? Didn't sell enough advertising? I'm not sure, Patrick. Pick your poison, brother. I am just If you ask me Memphis questions, I can answer your Memphis questions all day long because Memphis is my life. Atlanta, Derby City, Championship Wrestling presented at Car Shield, any of the other renditions, I offer my services and help out as much as I can and as best as I can. But their successes or their failures or whatever's in between doesn't really have that much to do with me. I'm a member of the team. I'm a spoke in the wheel, whereas here in Memphis, I'm leading the charge. So maybe some of those questions are for David Marquez. So reach out to him with all due respect. But if you do have any Memphis questions, I got your back, brother. Willie said, "I'd love to see a tournament for the United Wrestling Network Women's Championship." That's actually been teased for a couple of years now. So maybe we'll see it and maybe we won't. But I will stand firm that all of the champions that we have here in Memphis Wrestling are the very best United Wrestling Network champions. Those championships are defended on a very consistent basis. If there's going to be a United Wrestling Network world champion for the women, it's definitely Mackenzie Morgan because she is the only women's champion in all of United Wrestling Network. The same holds true for the Gun Show. There's not been a championship that's been defended more times and against bigger stars than what the Gun Show has done. And I'll put that up against anything. Put Danny Limelight in the ring with the Gun Show, but you better be really careful because the Gun Show, boom, will take that title. I'll stand by that till I'm blue in the face. I promise you. I love the production value of the Twins video. Twins of Salem, man. There's no telling what they're going to do. Rob, you're right. Eugene was a fanboy just like all of us. Andrew says, "Hi, Dustin. Love you and Maria's matching Christmas outfits." Always. My Maria, always up to something. Rob, Dustin hustling for advertisers is why we have Memphis Wrestling. No, Dustin eating, drinking, living, sleeping, breathing. Memphis Wrestling is why Memphis Wrestling is successful. And then also, we have the greatest team: Terrence Ward, Simon, Maria, all the entire locker room. Randy, the guy that brings the water. Timmy, the man that cleans the building. The trainees who help do everything. We are all so passionate about this. It is definitely a family, and you're exactly right, hustling. I will do whatever it takes not to get a real job and to just do Memphis Wrestling. Give you guys an idea, like Ohio Valley Wrestling on YouTube. They've been there a lot longer than us. Their total views to date, I believe, is 1.2 million. Memphis Wrestling has been on YouTube a lot shorter time than that, and we're at 10.5 million. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. 2024 is going to be an unbelievable year. I cannot wait. If you thought 2023 was something, just wait till you see what we do in 2024. Thank you for that, Rob. Patrick says, when Tim's son going to debut, he seems ready to wrestle. He is a little bit young, but he might be ready. I'm sure we'll see him at some point. Rob says, no Backlund Jr. family today. Another Christmas present. Yeah, hopefully they were out with Mama Roberts or Grandma Roberts or something like that. I'm just glad they weren't there. Rico, also Dustin Spider-Man needs redemption after what happened to him on Halloween. Gentleman Jervis rocking Spider-Man to sleep has so many views right now. It is absolutely ridiculous. You'd have thought we ruined the wrestling business with that. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. I hope the Gun Show retains the Memphis Heritage Championship. I kind of do too, but man, sure enough, Kate Toomer is on one hell of a streak right now. Rob says, I love the spread of Memphis wrestling across so many platforms. Me too. Ronald says, Merry Christmas, Dustin. Right back at you, Ronald. Hope you guys have a good one. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. Love seeing Eric Young in Memphis Wrestling last week. How about you? I look forward to seeing Eric Young come back over and over again here at Memphis Wrestling. He did inform me that he is exclusive to TNA or Impact Wrestling, whichever you want to call it, but he knew that he could get approved to come back to Memphis. So stay tuned for that. Jeffrey says, you know what? What? And I love Jervis too, Rob. All right, guys, I got just a couple more minutes. I'm going a little longer than what I expected just because you guys are so much fun, so much great questions and comments and everything. Christmas chaos in the kitchen is going on here at the Starr household. I got to get down there and referee, I guess, because or maybe like, snack or something like that. All the Way Ray and Ray Sanders tag team. All the Rays. Big John Dalton and Lance as a tag team. Man, that sounds pretty good. Kate Toomer versus Papo Esco. I mean, that match would be a hard-hitting son of a gun, I'll tell you that. Rob, so many talented stars in and through Memphis and the long-term storylines. Yeah, I mean, and you talk about long-term storylines. we saw today that Nyx has renamed their team from Ellsworth Enterprise, and she has, I don't know if it's knighted Lord Gaston, and I think it was Sir Matthew and Queen Nyx. What the hell is going on here in Memphis Wrestling? Got to wonder what Ellsworth thinks about that, so stay tuned. Double A Ron, hopefully we see the one-on-one with Boz versus Josh Alexander someday. I'd love to see that. What a match that triple threat was. Rico said, I'd love to see Shelton Benjamin at the Wrestle Center. He was a huge inspiration. I would love to see Shelton Benjamin at the Wrestle Center too. We do have some people that are friends with Shelton Benjamin, so we have reached out, so stay tuned. Robert says the Knicks Network. The Knicks Network instead of Ellsworth Enterprise. Just got to wonder how James Ellsworth feels about that, if we even care. Patrick says, I want that two Willie bound. What did he say he wanted? K2 Murders Papo Esco. Rob says, Lord Fairy Tale. Yeah, no kidding. Anyways, everybody, I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a great holiday season. Merry Eve of Christmas Eve here on Memphis Wrestling's official YouTube channel. We'll be back next week with episode 149, where I'm going to count down my top 10 favorite moments of 2023, followed by the next week, milestone 150, the biggest triple threat match in the history of Memphis Wrestling. And then the following week, episode 151, it's the Grind City Rumble. Who's headed to our blockbuster anniversary Super Bout 3? We're going to find out very, very soon. Eddie Kane, Maine, thank you so much. Jeffrey, Merry Christmas. Steve, thank you, brother. I really appreciate you guys. And again, if you're watching this when we're not live, you can go ahead and put your comments and your questions down here, and we'll go back and do our best to answer those. Merry Christmas to Allah. See most of you tomorrow for United Wrestling Network. Not Christmas in the kitchen. No, it's Christmas chaos in the kitchen. Right, Maria? She said, yeah. We have some more family members down there. Reese the Beast is taking a nap, so he'll be up in just a minute. Double A Ron says, Merry Christmas, everyone. One more. B1 Pen says, any chance you get a hold of some old footage of you and some of your veteran wrestling for a classic segment? Well, there are some matches that are posted here on the YouTube page. I mean, me and Maria have wrestled everybody from Broken Matt Hardy to Double J Jeff Jarrett to the King Jerry Lawler. We even left handsome Jimmy Valiant laying in the middle of the ring at one point. I mean, the list goes on and on. We had so much fun doing the wrestling that sprung starting our own wrestling company. And here we are, Memphis Wrestling, 148 episodes in, celebrating with one of the biggest legends in the history of Memphis Wrestling, Boogie Woogie Man, handsome Jimmy Valiant. Merry Christmas to all, and to all the Memphis Maniacs. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. Also, I want to finish off by saying that there was talk in the live chat about owning the libraries. Not only have I been searching for the libraries to purchase, but I've also made some offers on some other libraries. So I hate to say that I'm ahead of you, but if there's anything that has to do with Memphis Wrestling, I feel like I've thought of it or I'm thinking of it. And if I could hunt down that footage, then your boy would have it for you on this YouTube channel. I promise you that. Anyways, Merry Christmas, everybody. Rico says, yes, the posse helped build the Wrestle Center, but the lack of respect they've shown towards fellow wrestlers and legends. Yeah, when the camera's on, you want no part of the posse. That is for sure. But everybody, thank you so much for joining me here on the live reaction. Thanks for joining me in the live chat. If you missed the episode, it is must see. Do me a favor, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It's absolutely free. It costs nothing to share. And I don't mean share the live reaction, share the episode with all of your friends, because I know that they've got to be super surprised. They got to be super surprised that handsome Jimmy Valiant is back after all these years. And it was always rumored that he was Jerry Lawler's favorite wrestler. You heard Jimmy Blaylock mention buying him a house in Fraser. That's what Memphis Wrestling did previously back in the day, is they bought handsome Jimmy Valiant his own house in Fraser, Tennessee, which is a neighborhood here in Memphis, because he was so valuable to Memphis Wrestling. They bought this man a house so he can come work for Memphis Wrestling. So it was just an absolute honor to have Boogie Woogie Man on there. Patrick says, book Scorpio Sky. I've been trying to book him for 3 years. He's a friend of mine, but he doesn't take a lot of bookings, but he will be at United Wrestling Network on January 14th. Rico says, you and Maria always dressed awesome, especially on the holiday episodes. I just tip my hat to Maria. She's always looking good, looking only as she can look, my lovely Maria. But anyway, let me go spend some time with her and the family. and I will see you guys next week right here on Memphis Wrestling. I am Dustin Starr, saying so long, everybody. Oh, yeah. Merry Christmas, guys.